Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCullum, and we are back today at Aimpoint headquarters in Malmo, Sweden, taking a look at one of Aimpoint's projects from the early 1990s that didn't quite make it to market. This is what they call the Square project because, well, it's a rectangular red dot, and it's a rectangular red dot made out almost entirely out of plastic. This was a pretty revolutionary design in a bunch of different ways. So let's take a closer look at it. So this is a project that dates to approximately 1990 through 1993. It is from that time period when Aimpoint's customer base was still largely hunting centric. So this has a Weaver style mount on it, or a Weaver rail, and it is a mount that's designed to fit onto like traditional hunting rifles where you would adjust, you'd have specific discrete ring spacing, and your front attachment here can be moved to match whatever the ring spacing is on the rifle that you want to mount it on. Intended both for rifles and also for shotguns. The field of view on this is quite a bit larger than other Aimpoints of this early 1990s period because it's this big wide rectangle. And part of really what allowed them to do that was the body tube is made out of plastic. On top of that, the mounting base here is made out of plastic, and the front lens is made out of plastic. This is almost an entirely plastic optic, and that was really the revolutionary forward-looking element of its design. By making it out of plastic, in theory, you could reduce material costs, you could definitely reduce weight. This like most of the weight in this is just in this rather dense plastic mounting base. This would be a very light, very handy optic. On top of that, they actually gave it a solar panel, predating, I think, what most people expect for the early advent of solar panels on firearms optics. This is intended to be a backup and an augment to the battery, which we do have in here. Unfortunately, actually, there isn't a live battery in this one, so I can't show you the dot, but it produces just a plain red dot, like all of Aimpoint's other designs. And frankly, I think this had quite a bit of potential. The problem was the technology, the manufacturing methods really weren't quite ready to bring a product like this onto the market. So Aimpoint had trouble with that front plastic lens, getting it to be exactly the right shape, because this is a collimating red dot optic. So that front lens has to have a very specific geometry so that you can take light from an LED here, bounce it, shine it up into the lens, and then the lens collimates it, which means the lens turns a broad beam of light into a parallel conical beam of light that comes right back through parallel to the tube, and that's what allows it to work as a sighting system. And they couldn't really quite keep that front lens within specification. They also had issues with the lens subtly shifting during changes in temperature. So obviously not a good thing for an all-weather hunting style of optic. And on top of all of that, apparently they also had problems keeping the tube body in spec, having it rigid enough to meet optical requirements. So like this was a long reach that didn't ultimately succeed, but if you don't try, you won't succeed at anything. And I think this is a pretty cool project of Aimpoint's that's neat to look at. I think it's really cool both to see the projects that came to fruition and worked and were very popular, and also to see some of the things that were attempted but didn't actually succeed. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Big thanks to Aimpoint for giving me access to their not so successful projects. Not a lot of companies are willing to actually share that sort of thing in public, but Aimpoint is, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.